if I can describe from the McKinsey's report. So they are insisting to focus on fixing pain points. So we need to focus on the what our organization, and to do so we need to realize those pain points first. And we have seen that loads of organizations quickly sort of shift to the digital IT solution. However, the ideal approach would be to see the and realize the problem, and then sort of find the right tool which fit for the purpose. Second important ingredient is collaboration. You need to sort of have collaboration in such a way that it can reinforce your digital processes. Thirdly, reskill and restructure your engineering team. Certainly, if you introduce new sort of technologies and new sort of processes into your organization, you will need the existing process baseline, project baseline to capture the value. So we need to emphasize this term value while we are exposing any digital transformation. And the fifth one is connect projects to unlock impact across the enterprise. So the data should be homogeneous and it should be sort of percolating each and every. That sort of capabilities we need to develop in terms of achieve true digitization. uh, when we talk about BIM, it is the closest thing that we know which can help us to sort of deliver digitalization or digital transformation. However, the question here is, would this be enough for the true digital transformation? I have given you an example of a bridge project and its BIM model here so that you can see the BIM process and actual product. So when we evaluate all those ingredients against the BIM execution plan that we commonly find in the recent sort of market, we found that the BIM execution plan has limited ways to highlight pain points. So there is no way to sort of highlight pain points because the approach is basically the product based. All of you heard about the BIM acronym has three different inferences or interpretation. First is building information modeling, building information model, and building information management. So we need to figure out which one is sort of fitting for our needs. Second is our this BIM execution plan are such uh, which doesn't support collaboration and which sort of limit the definition of the collaboration that we have seen. Third is restrict BIM knowledge. So only know, like they are well known for their BIM implementation. The key to implement BIM in a very good nature is to sort of to enable it to entire project base or entire project user base. However, our BIM strategies or BIM execution plans are not sort of prepared in such a way that it sort of percolates the knowledge. Fourth one is BIM execution plans cannot detect true value in the project. So there is a major limitation for the value generation. And the fifth one is the BIM execution plan has short-sighted in terms of lesson learned and sort of knowledge sharing. So because of this, so this is what I found in a sort of couple of days back from one of the most sort of well-known digital transformation key person, spokesperson, and he basically represent the all sort of data in various phases. So whatever information we have is whatever sort of digital data we have is like this. Whenever you start tagging it, it becomes information. Whenever you sort of find inter or intermediate relationship between that, it becomes knowledge. And whenever you develop a capability where you sort of correlate one point to another, as we have illustrated over here, it becomes insight, and then the wisdom, and then the impact. So basically what we are trying to highlight here is we don't sort of reach to this levels. We are just at data, and in max case information level. We are nowhere near around the insight, wisdom, and impact level. So in the nutshell, the BIM processes that we are following, or BIM execution plan that we are following, lack of people aspect of digital transformation, though it cover, or it has improved the process aspect of it. And we don't doubt the technical proficiency or technical sort of edge the BIM has. However, the people sort of aspect is commonly untouched in the BIM execution. Whenever we talk about the current situation on the construction project, there are 55 to 65% waste that is there in the construction processes. Only 5 to 10% value generation activities we can see. Whenever I say waste, it means accident, delays, waiting, rework, damaged material, all sort of waste you can think of can be listed over here. And we are also focusing more upon support activities. So if I would like to represent it in a different manner, it would be like this. Only the execution team is working towards achieving the goal, and all sort of I'm not stating that they don't have specific role to play, but the current sort of scenario is like this. So why do we need the change? So in this graph, or this diagram, I've tried to portray this organization. You can see as a part of bedrock. If I have enough inventory, and you can assume inventory as a seawater. However, when my inventory is getting reduced, then only I can realize the sort of importance and severity of all those problems that I have ignored in this case. That's why we have lean construction practices in the construction field, where we sort of focus on the minimizing the waste and increasing the value. um, Professor Lauri Koskela was one of the founder of lean construction practices, where he sort of take lean processes and infuse it into the construction. So if I can quickly elaborate or explain how it works using this bridge construction sort of activity, it could be like this. So whenever a common person, a layman, observe any construction practices, so let's say for a bridge construction, he would see this sort of board that construction is going on, and at the end of the project, he would get the final project, and he would be able to access it. However, whenever project team member view the construction process, they can see in more depth. So now they will be able to see there is a casting work going on, there is handling work going on, erection work, all sort of cable staying work, finishing work, all sort of work uh, they can identify as they have experience firsthand, and they develop some sort of knowledge, technical knowledge based lens in their eyes, so that they can see all these processes in chunks. However, the lean view is like this. So entire workflow or entire process into value adding activity, non-value adding activity. When I say value adding activity, it means that is the only part which is contributing into the end delivery. So in this end finishing, only this much amount of work is needed to sort of deliver the construction bridge construction, or a final delivery of the bridge. However, we need to perform preparation, stacking, again preparation and waiting, again waiting. All those waiting are considered as a waste in terms of lean philosophy. So what we as a lean practitioner trying to do is sort of minimize those waste and try to come up with the better solution where you have very limited non-value adding activity, and also reduce amount of necessary non-value adding activity. So again, the action we take is first eliminate the wasteful component, and second adding value component. So in this second diagram, I have shown that alignment check using 3D scanner would add another value to the process. So this could be considered as a value adding activity. So if in a nutshell, if I want to summarize the lean construction, it has six major aspect of it, or six major fundamental tenets of lean construction. Is first, don't try to optimize the chunks. You don't need to optimize one process, you need to optimize whole to get a better result. Second is removal of waste. You first of all, you need to realize the waste in your processes. There is a very important saying in lean construction, where whenever you try to evaluate or try to judge a process, you you need to develop such a critical site where you can see the waste. Unless and until you don't realize the waste, you would presume that everything is working fine. So need to develop a site where and always strategy to remove or reduce waste. Whenever I say waste, it doesn't comprises the construction material or any sort of materialistic waste. It also comprises of overproduction, waiting time, also unnecessary transport, over processing, excessive inventory, in unnecessary movement defects, and unused employees creativity. All sort of ways we need to eliminate. The third most important component is focus on processes and flow. Then we also focus on the value generation and the continuous improvement. Regardless everything, we ensure that we develop some sort of environment where we have respect for the people. So if I try to correlate this with the McKinsey ingredient list, it will perfectly satisfy majority of requirement in terms of people and in the process aspect of it. So lean construction develops a vision to see and fix pain points. It provides interactive environment that promotes collaboration. Also, rescaling and restructuring of engineering team is quite essential to implement lean construction practices. Fourth one is the focus and capture the true value. So as we have mentioned over here, its fundamental focus is on sort of generating the value. So that's where we are getting. And the last one is connect project and shared lesson learned, that we can gather from the lean construction. uh, you can see the tool set of lean and lean philosophy over here that can be used in the construction. If you want to refer it, we can I can share these slides with you. So in a nutshell, it usually take care of people aspect and the process aspect of uh, the cycle, but however, it is lacking behind in technology. So idea here is to combine both of this being BIM practices or BIM technologies with lean construction processes and get all three people, process, and technology working hand in hand for a successful digital transformation. I have a case study to sort of show you how it works. Uh, if we go to these a case study, the case study I'm talking about is situated in Dublin. So it's in Ireland. If I can give you brief background, so this is the place where Facebook is trying to develop 10 data center over here, and sort of see the scale of it. You can see a car parked over here, and the scale of the one data center is uh, kind of visible in this image. Uh, so Mace and Facebook are developing this sort of set establishment, uh, and they have pact of doing it for almost three or four data center. Here I have mentioned four data halls, which has data capacity of 36 million volt, and it is 1,360 meter square area. So we will be talking about this in the next slides. So to just sort of give you a scale of the project, we have 50 subcontractors working on the site at the very same time, and we have 200 plus work packages. Also, we have 20,000 work breakdown structure line items. So if you can imagine what a tremendous P6 or MSV schedule we can have for this is gigantic, and it was taking almost a minute to update one line of changes in the P6 file itself. So yes, so the project size is gigantic. At any point of time, they are dealing with 800 activities per week. So you can see that at the project management perspective, it's very difficult to grasp or have control of each and every work that is going on. Uh, so whatever we are so the strategy of integrating lean and them started with the idea of realizing the way. So here you can see the image of Kevin McHugh. He's the associate project director at this project, and when I once once a time he sort of visited the site and try to understand what's exactly going on, and that's why he found that approximately 25 to 30% of his labor are just a spotter. They are not doing anything, and it's kind of a the very first ways he realized. Also then he went back to his technical team. So if I can elaborate more on the BIM aspect of this project, they have already developed a LOD 350 model for the all this data center. However, they are still not able to sort of manage their complexity. I have listed all the complexities that that was there in the project. Therefore, we started analyzing the entire process of a delivery. So in the process of delivery, what we have is uh, this is the previous state before the implementation of lean and beam integrated practices. They had this baseline schedule, which was further elaborated by project planner, and then it was being communicated to each and every subcontractor. You can see then subcontractor tries to sort of develop his own plan, and then all together they try to deploy it or implement it. Later, one project coordinator asks all the subcontractors to give feedback about or the uh, status about the progress, and later team arrange a meeting where they try to investigate what exactly went wrong and what were the sort of issues in the implementation. However, you can see one another column over here where we have identified enormous waste in this process. You can see uh, they are developing a project plan for entire project. So that's why they are getting 20,000 line items. Anyway, they are going to shift those 20,000 line item as they progresses. So the fundamental waste of overproduction, where they are supposed to be targeting upon sort of 3 month or 4 month plan, and try to elaborate then rather than elaborate everything that has been found in the process. Accordingly, you can see all the waste that are there in the process. So what exactly they were doing to the entire system? So these are the few observations that we found out. First of all was the manual information delivery hampers efficiency. So people were running around with all sort of construction drawings and construction information. They are coordinating using emails and WhatsApp trails and whatever medium they have. Therefore, there was no centralized approach to get information out of it, and the workers or the end users were a very finding it is very difficult to get the information out of the entire system. The second observation was there are multiple sources of information. So as I mentioned that if I want to know the progress of the any sort of activity, I can get it from a package manager, as well as I can get it from a subcontractor, whatever sort of involved parties are there. However, there were a few instances where we find mismatch in those informations. Again, the latency in progress update. So whenever project manager ask about the information, they sort of have a frequency to deliver it 15 days or on a weekly basis. So in order to have proactive decision making, I should be knowing the sort of exact current state uh, of my construction activities, to have sort of all the basic need to get everything sorted. Third one is lack of transparency. So difference in the opinion or a difference in the sort of actions are visible in the process. So when I say difference, which means if I'm doing if I'm a subcontractor and executing on a particular location, mm, mm, my fellow subcontractor which is working for, let's say, MEP, will not know what exactly I'm doing. So there were clashes due to lack of transparency. Third part was again related to transparency itself, isolated planning. So each and every subcontractor were planning on their own. There is no collaboration between their planning, and that's why the flow component was missing from the entire project delivery. Fourth one is inadequate performance tracking. So rather focusing on the delivery, the sort of focus were or focus of the project performance is on their KPIs. Undoubtedly, KPIs are important. However, production is the key area to kind of get everything delivered. Next one was the no visual tracking. They have enormous record or database for the entire project. However, even if one tries to access the information, it will take them almost hours to send kind of get the exact information. Next one was the delayed handover. So as we mentioned, there were 50 subcontractors working on the same project. It is very difficult to coordinate amongst each other for the kind of passing of trade. So we are talking about internal deliveries over here. Therefore, we along with Mace, by mean we, Visilin along with Mace, come up with a strategy where we integrate BIM, Lean, and cloud computing together in order to get a sort of optimized workflow and integrated or a common data environment, you may say, where BIM provide efficient information management, visualization, simulation, and reduce fragmentation sort of capabilities. And the lean construction provides continuous improvement, transformation, value flow, reducing waste, optimization, and VZ-Lean provides cloud computing capabilities where mobility, collaboration, reliability, and real-time nature of system actually uh, uh, gives a boost to process management. So in the next phase, we sort of deliver lean beam integrated project delivery where you can see that we use Revit as a modeling tool, P6 as a scheduling tool, whereas VZLean was used as Lean BIM collaboration tool, and the Nureva wall was used. I'll show you in a while how exactly Nureva wall works. But the the improved process look like this. So now we have a baseline schedule where people are in the collaborative room. They are trying to plan and figure out what exactly the process is and where exactly the planning as well as model clash are going on. Then in the third step, the subcontractors tries to develop their own schedules in conjunction with their fellow subcontractors so that they don't clash with each other. In the sixth step, they try to sort of have a collaborative session where they discuss about the clashes. In the fifth step, all the end users were provided with the mobile app where they can uh, update the progress from their mobile itself. So they can be seen over here where end user are using their smartphone, and uh, in other words they are using mobile technologies to sort of let the higher management know about the current process. And in the next step was to sort of evaluate what exactly the state of the production. So by implementing these steps, we sort of achieve um the waste elimination and also a value generation aspect of lean. I can quickly show you in this. I got an alarm that my time is running up. But yes, so this is the room that we have set it up. You can see the 3D model in live in the BIM in the VZLink, and you can see the schedule over here, master plan. So whenever you click on any of the model, it will directly take you to the micro level schedule over here, and you can see whatever activities are going on the on the model itself. Also, there are information which is necessary to sort of execute that element are linked with this task so that nobody needs to chase the information. Again, this is the snapshot of integrated project meeting where each and every subcontractor sit with each other and discuss what is exactly going on in the project. Here you can see these two gentlemen. These are the project directors, and they usually set up a meeting where they only focus on the red part. So this is the screenshot of visual interface where visual management, we recognize the status of the task from the color. So whenever you see red task or red color in the model, it means there is any issue. So the object of having this meeting is to get rid of this red part. uh, Again, you can see in this daily briefing, they always go to the sort of digital environment and try to grasp what exactly going on in the project, and also make sure that their space management and the logistics are as per the plan or not. They can simply access this software from their smartphone or their mobile computers, any digital device that has uh, Chrome or any sort of browsing tool. Again, the handovers become efficient as they can simply pass on the baton of their completed task. So whenever one subcontractor completed a task, it will automatically notify the subsequent subcontractor, uh, which basically converted into the seamless handovers. Again, the field operation were much more smoother, as the end user has the capability of updating tasks from their hand, and whenever they have issue, they can send an alert to the project management team directly from their smartphone. So they don't need to run or chase the project management team. So what exactly we gain from this experience? So now we have availability of all the information on their smartphone. They can access all the relevant information from their smartphone itself, which basically eliminated the manual information delivery sort of waste in the process. Again, the multiple source of information was being tackled by the single source of truth that has been provided by the cloud-based environment, where which basically increase the reliability of the information, and they have reduced the dispute amongst the project participants. Again, the latency in project updates was taken care by the real-time nature of the entire system, where the end user can uh, live update their task and sort of feed the information or task status to their supervisors, which basically resulted into the proactive decision making. Again, the lack of transparency and isolated planning was taken care by digital collaboration. So we saw that all the subcontractors can access that shared plan from their mobile devices and see the sort of their integration with BIM as well. So all the you can see that this all this BIM elements are or all this entire schedule is visible to the subcontractors as well. So whenever they plan, they don't plan in isolation. They will they will have a chance to see what exactly going on before and after that. Then the isolated planning was taken care by two digital true planning collaboration. We have discussed this. The next was inadequate performance tracking and the no visual tracking that has been taken care by key data analytics. So now the project managers and directors are having a very different role than the previous one. Earlier, they are supposed to create enormous reports and sort of communication trails. However, using BIM and lean integrated processes, we let BIM component to display their own faults. So if I have an issue in model will itself portray that there is an issue in this space and you need to address this. And system is also capable enough to sort of provide progress update related reports. So that has been taken care of. And the last one was the uncontrolled production workflow, which has been taken care by the push notification. Now, after finishing each and every task, the subsequent trade contractor will get a notification that now you can initiate your uh, sort of work in this place. Ultimately, if I can outline the sort of benefit we got from the implementation is whenever they were constructing CLN1, it was taking 21 weeks to sort of deliver one segment. One, when I say one segment, which means basically this one component over here, this one component. So there are 16 lined up in stack. So one component will take was taking almost 21 weeks. But by implementing lean and BIM integrated processes, now they have reduced it up to the 9 weeks. As well as there were quite uh, qualitative benefit. We have noticed that it has reduced 60% in construction defects. So um, the the part where I mentioned where we have empowered the end user to notify whenever they have issues, it really becomes a, a quality tracker for the process where people can identify flaws in their processes from the gathered data itself. Also, they have improved 43% of their program efficiency and 45% on their labor spend. So earlier, because of there was a need of a coordinator, which basically coordinate the information for from one contractor to another subcontractor. That now one contractor one has finished his job, you can take it on. Now system will take care of it from its own. So by doing this, we have observed 45% reduction in labor spend. So yeah, if you want to know more about what exactly uh, was this project, you can refer published case study uh, uh, where we have in-depth kind of process mapped and also mentioned in this paper. Also, if you are interested into the lean construction and BIM integrated project delivery, you can refer to this this one, this document where you have which is basically published by Syria, and you can refer it. It's open source. So if I want to conclude this, I can say that BIM can be an excellent kind of medium to carry out the digital transformation. However, the people and processes aspect uh, are not being tackled in very efficient manner. That's why we need to rely on the lean processes and lean sort of philosophy to deliver efficient and true digital transformation. That's it for me. If you have any question, you can raise it now. Mr. Bose, are you there?
Thank you, Viraj. Thank you for the great presentation. I hope we learned a lot from here, and I would advise everyone to just prepare their questions if they have any. And we will be shortly coming back. We'll be having a 1 minute or 2 minutes break. Please be here. Please prepare your questions. Mr. Viraj will be here to answer them as best as possible. Thank you.
Thanks.
Just a little bit update. We will be connecting at 11:55 so that we can have the questions and answer session. Thank you.
Sure. Whenever I say maturity of organization, there are three dimension of it. So first is BIM maturity, second is lean maturity, and third is their sort of organization management maturity. So these are the three maturity we need to take in account whenever we try to sort of give estimate how long it will take for an organization to get on board for lean and BIM integrated project management. But however, as I mentioned, it usually take just a week to sort of embrace all this learning through easily uh, for new organization. However, the people aspect is quite complex.
So, I mean, you mean to say if we have some effective tool or effective software like Whistling, we can just have it faster, or rather, it takes somewhere around 1 week to some more few more weeks to integrate it. I suppose that's that. Okay. Um, whereas we have another question, which is somewhat.
Yes, so you need to find. Hello.
Yeah, Viraj, we are here. So, Viraj, we have the second question, which is like, how much do you think is lean BIM? Like, how much does it benefit on implementation of lean BIM in small or medium scale projects? So, this is one of the thing which is there. Also, how would it benefit in cost as effective if it's for a small project? Okay, so this is the first question. Second question is how efficient the BIM implementation be during the early stages of the project. So, do you think it's on the early stage of the project and it will start giving its value out, or will it be we have to stick throughout the project till the closing phase? What is your thought into this?
So to the for your first question, so we have implemented uh, this sort of lean and BIM integrated strategy for relatively smaller size of organization near Ahmedabad region, where they get more qualitative benefit at this moment. However, to get sort of exact quantitative benefit, I need hand it over to me so that I can tell you the exact fact about it. But in a nutshell, you can say that it is also applicable for medium and small size project. Whenever I say medium and small size project, I'm talking about project worth of 40 crore only. So yes, they are also being implemented successfully, and rather I would see it as more or less people and process evolution. So you are trying to improve your culture within the organization. So cultural improvement can be done for small size and as well as the sort of a huge amount of numbers. So it doesn't really matter about the numbers or size of the project. However, to answer your second question, which was if I understand it correctly, uh, I'm sorry, what was it? Can you come again?
Yeah, the second question was how efficient the BIM implementation be during the early stages of the project, particularly with respect to estimation and planning of the quantities. It concentrates on the same area during, so it focuses on how the costs or the expenses on the project. So, what is your thought in it? Will it be cost effective? Will it be over the budget? Will it be something that people need to take in addition with their current budget? Is something extra they need to focus on? What do you think into it?
Yes, so for the early stages of the project, when I say early, I mean pre-construction stages. People, especially in this project, they use it as a information delivery system, information communication system, where sort of designers interact with each other based on their delivery schedule. So this baseline schedule I have shown over here comprises of design engineering tasks as well. So they are using this sort of last planner based approach for design team as well for effective coordination amongst the project team. So because of this, they have sort of developed their stages for level of information as well. So when I say level of information, it generally refers to BIM strategies where you develop information in phases, and we have aligned level of information, level of detail, and level of scheduling all together in order to make a homogeneous system which basically interact with each other rather than developing in isolation. They have been combined together. So the reduction of waste and reduction of sort of miscommunication is rather drastic in this scenario.
Great. Thank you, Viraj. Thank you for your time today. And it was great that we had all of you into the seminar. Well, we Bimcrew plans to have similar webinars in future as well, and we plan to have a webinar every once or twice a month now, which we can go ahead and which we can close, which we can provide it for everyone. Thank you. We'll be having the webinar recorded. We have the webinar recorded and we will be sharing it shortly. Um, Thank you for participating. Thank you for coming to Bimcrew.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, Viras. Thank you for your time. And thank you all guys for joining.